2018 Jaguar I-Pace SUV Review. The good points of Jaguar I-Pace SUV. Claimed variety of up to 298 miles. Claimed rapid charge times. Impressive refinement and gratification. Battery beneath floor liberates extra cabin space. Agile handling, comfortable ride. The bad points of Jaguar I-Pace SUV. Prices start at £63,495, so not cheap. At 2.2 tons, it's actually a heavy car. Jaguar's reliability record unfortunately isn't the most effective. Welcome into a brave rainforest for a famous British brand, the electric Jaguar I-Pace SUV. That it exists, and offered to order for customer deliveries later in 2018, isn't in itself a surprise, as Jaguar has previewed the Austrian-built battery electric vehicle BEV with concept cars of the name since 2016. Make no mistake though, the I-Pace can be a game changer for Jaguar, and also for the car market generally. As such, it currently doesn't have any direct rivals, as being the Tesla Model X is quite a bit larger. What's the technical specification? The I-Pace is 94% aluminum, and uses suspension familiar from Jaguar's XF and F-Pace models. But it's the electric drivetrain which makes this a Jaguar unlike another. A 90 kWh lithium-ion battery sits relating to the front and rear wheels. Twin electric motors provide power, with one at every axle to offer permanent all-wheel drive. A single-speed transmission means you don't need to change gear. Jaguar claims 400 horsepower with 695 Nm of torque, figures comparable with a high-performance saloon. The battery is included by an 8-year warranty, and I-Pace takes a service every 2 octoseconds or 21,000 miles. What's the 2018 Jaguar I-Pace want to drive? Press the D button around the center console plus the I-Pace glides looking at the parking space into urban traffic, apparently silently from the cabin, however with a low hum to warn pedestrians. Frontal visibility is a great one, even though you can't view the corners with the snub bonnet, rear visibility less so. The reversing camera is crucial, even though mirrors supply you with all the information you would like in normal driving. Electric cars provide instant acceleration, and also the I-Pace certainly feels very eager and tuned into throttle inputs. Nonetheless, it's never excessively edgy during gentle maneuvers. More intriguing is on-pedal driving. Simply releasing the throttle makes a relatively strong braking effort, as being the electric motors harvest electricity to replenish battery. You can reduce the strength of this via sub-menus inside touchscreen and rely more about the brake pedal, but even though it takes a minimal time to adjust to on-pedal driving, it soon feels natural. Riding on our test car's air suspension with 20-inch alloys, conventional coil springs are standard, while wheel sizes consist of 18 to 22 inches, the I-Pace feels impeccably cushioned and controlled, even in the roughest surfaces. The steering weight is fairly heavy, but it really is pleasingly precise, responsive and accurate, and a lot from overbearingly meaty. Accelerate as much as motorway speed along with the I-Pace surges forward by using these relentless vigor hose makes most petrol or diesel cars feel decidedly sluggish, which enables it to embarrass even high-performance cars. As you move the 0.62 miles per hour of 4 years old. 8 seconds is very fast. The mid-range acceleration feels far stronger than that figure leads someone to expect. The smooth ride carries on. Define the driving experience at higher speeds, as well as wind and road noise that's impressively suppressed, right nearly high motorway cruising speeds. The quietness connected with an electric car will emphasize any shortcomings on this department. However, the I-Pace's cabin is hushed and relaxed. There is noise, however, a sort of arcade game jet engine soundtrack that captures the two alien driving experience plus the increasing a sense of drama as speeds rise. Again, this is dialed up or down using the touchscreen. Perhaps most surprising is when enjoyable this type of heavy electric SUV would be to drive down a difficult mountain road. Its balance of strong grip, Instant performance and good body control conspire to generate the I-Pace feel surprisingly agile when driven enthusiastically. A contributory factor here is that the weighty battery and electric motors are concentrated so low down from the chassis, as well as the lower the extra weight, the higher the handling associated with the car. Jaguar even laid with an off-road route through the Portuguese press launch, which involved wading through water as much as the I-Pace's axles, cruising at speed over unmade roads, and raising mid-air suspension to navigate steep and dusty terrain. All of these the I-Pace simply shrugged off. How long will it take to charge the Jaguar I-Pace? Using a 50 kilowatts DC charge point, the sort typically purchased at motorway services and public car parks, requires 85 minutes to accept the I-Pace's 90 kWh power supply from flat to 80% capacity. Currently the UK is within the early stages of seeing 100 kilowatts DC rapid chargers being rolled out. Using one of these brilliant 0.08% charge will require just 40 minutes. Most electric vehicle owners recharge their vehicles overnight having a dedicated wall box. For the 0.80% recharge by using a 7 kilowatts AC supply requires 10 hours. That ought to suit most owners. Jaguar doesn't yet quote a time for charging the I-Pace having a conventional 3-pin domestic plug. While this isn't the best way of replenishing its battery, it's an effective fallback facility if appropriate connections are unavailable. Smart charging can replenish it during low-tariff electricity hours, while preconditioning allows proprietors to cool or heat the car whilst it's still on charge, saving battery. Jaguar claims 298 miles of range. During a test route that took in urban driving, motorway plus a long stint on some very challenging and twisty roads driven with a capable dose of enthusiasm, we reduced 248 miles of predicted range to 93 miles in, coincidentally, 93 miles of driving, though we'd be prepared to achieve a better determined normal commuting. Buyers will get 2 teams of charging cables, a 3-pin charger, and something for rapid charging, though neither were within the test cars. How big could be the Jaguar I-Pace? Even though it's an SUV, the I-Pace carries a lower, sportier look compared to Epicenter Pace crossovers and sits between your 2 Pace models size-wise. At 4,682 mm it's 50 mm shorter than an Pace, if 271 mm more than an Epis. The lack of a standard engine and gearbox has allowed Jaguar designers to generate an extremely futuristic shape, using a very short nose and also the cabin pushed forward being a mid-engined supercar. Combined that has a distance between front and rear wheels that's some 130 mm greater as opposed to Pace, the I-Pace has an incredibly spacious cabin, despite its relatively compact proportions. This is why a 6-feet-tall passenger sitting behind an identical-sized adult will see a couple of inches of knee and headroom. The spacious rear accommodation can be helped from the almost entirely flat floor, where commonly a bulky transmission tunnel would compromise space. Jaguar quotes a 656-liter boot capacity while using rear seats up 1,435 liters when they're folded. There's a 10.5-liter storage cubby involving the front seats, and also a tiny front boot. There is really a more conventional center console relating to the front seats. Nevertheless, it houses the ventilation system and it's incorporated in this type of way which it makes it easy to gain access to the touchscreen infotainment system besides other controls arranged neatly upon it. Jaguar I-Pace, bristling with connected technology. There's little within the I-Pace's cabin that screams Jaguar, save for any smattering of wood and leather, that can no doubt please brand traditionalists. That's not saying it doesn't appear like an attractive dashboard, that has trio of screens where one might ordinarily expect to see traditional analog dials and physical buttons. Those screens made their debut inside the Range Rover Velar and been shown to be easy to use, but susceptible to greasy fingerprints, disturbing the slick aesthetics. Conspicuous by its absence will be the rising rotary gear selector, although push buttons for selecting the direction of travel reflect how very easy to operate a power car is. Delve within the superficial appeal on the touchscreens for further advanced technology like sat-nav settings optimized to electric car-friendly routes including recharging points, and usage of Jaguar's remote app via Amazon's Alexa besides the more usual smartphone access. Jaguar's employed an identical trim level hierarchy towards the EPIS for the electric SUV, with S, SE and HSE grades topped by way of a special first edition only available to get a short time from launch. Equipment levels are going to be generous and, love the Velar, Oberland textile upholstery from Danish supplier Kvadrat is accessible as an alternative to Windsor leather. Take-up has proved low around the Velar, but possibly the eco-demographic will begin to see the appeal. Orders for the Jaguar I-Pace may be placed now with prices starting at £63,495 with an entry-level SEV 400 AWD version before government incentives. Diesel power is the best only choice. Manual and DSG auto options. Both are punchy and responsive. There are simply just two engine options within the Leon Experience -150 horsepower or 184 horsepower versions of the 2.0-liter turbodiesel engine. They're engines found elsewhere within the Leon range, and they also remain for being punchy and strong options with the Experience. At the heart with the Experience's appeal is its Haldex all-wheel drive system. It's a part-time arrangement that may send chance to whatever wheel contains the most traction for that conditions. It doesn't drastically affect performance, though there is often a slight weight penalty thanks towards the extra hardware. Choose the entry-level 2.0-liter with 150 horsepower and 320 Nm of torque as well as the Leon Experience will complete the sprint from 0-62 miles per hour in mere 8.7 seconds. And carry on to your 129 miles per hour top speed. It's an easy and willing performer, having an even SP watch of torque from 1,750 revolutions per minute to a few 000 revolutions per minute, making for just a flexible response and spirited acceleration in spite of gear selected. Should take a look at want to exercise your left leg whatsoever. The 184 horsepower version of the identical 2.0-liter diesel engine is solely available together with the excellent 6-speed DSG dual-clutch automatic gearbox. Well-judged ratios and smooth quick shifting with this gearbox mean this model can accelerate from 0-62 miles per hour within 7.1 seconds. It's a similar engine you'll get in a VW Golf GTD, so it's no real surprise it's as quick because it is. Equally potent in their mid-range, as a result of 380 Nm of torque it'll accelerate all the way to 139 miles per hour too. However, actually, the difference relating to the two engines isn't as noticeable perhaps you may expect. Handling is tidy, or else exciting. Blends comfort and sportiness adequately. Drive modes positioned on faster models. If you wish to take advantage on the firm's drive profile system, which alters the steering, engine, climate control and, where fitted, the DSG dual-clutch gearbox responses, you'll have to opt for that say Lux model. Regardless, unlike other Leon models, there's no replacement for the dynamic chassis control DCC which alters the damper's reactions. Still, swapping between eco, normal, sport and individual modes does cause a noticeable alteration of steering weight. Though crucially you can forget feel through the rim. We'd leave the steering in normal whether or not this were us, sport simply becoming heavier than necessary. All Experience models feature raised comfort suspension so sharp handling isn't really this car's forte. That said, the Leon Street the automobile is according to has always felt light on its feet with quick, faithful and neutral responses to inputs, with lots of grip and neat handling. Adding an all-wheel drive system merely has improved the previous, and no matter the weather the Leon Street Experience holds on tight for the road below with hardly any body roll. It'll even venture off-road with aplomb, the 28mm higher ground clearance and will tackle rutted roads with confidence and also the four-wheel drive system meaning shallow inclines and declines pose little problem. Even whether or not this is not only a veritable Land Rover Defender rival within the muddy stuff. It can allow keepers to venture somewhat further from the beaten track than regular Leon Street owners can. It'll produce a great tow cart too, which has a braked towing capacity of 2,000 kilograms with a manual gearbox and 1,600 kilograms for that DSG automatic. Tidy interior is simple to navigate. Materials are of audio quality. Very easy to get comfortable. We've been a fan with the Leon's interior, managing to blend quality materials with sharp contemporary design, along with the experience is not any different. In fact, make an attempt to tell the real difference between this car's cabin and that in the 5-door hatchback, 3-door SC or even the street estate it's dependent on, and you ought to look close. There are changes though, namely some orange stitching with the seats and leather steering wheel along with a smattering of experience badges. Talking of people chairs, they're selecting cloth, a brown Alcantara and leather mixture or full leather coverings. Choose the Alcantara option as well as the tactile suede-alike material makes its way on the door panels to boost comfort all the more. Celebrate the Leon feel more upmarket. As with all the rest from the range, the seats are perfectly comfortable and provide plenty of adjustment, so does the neat 3-spoke controls. Otherwise the dashboard layout is usually intuitive, with solid and neatly detailed VW Group switchgear including easy-to-use climate controls and row of buttons forward from the gear lever easily available. Just below this row of controls is often a handy cubby hole lidded on early Leon models. The good news is open as a result of lid quality problems, which is perfect for mobiles or sunglasses cases. The lidded cubby within the front seat armrest is within the small side, along with the glove box is slightly compromised with the CD player to the infotainment system, but together with the decent-sized door bins there has to be enough storage for almost all users' needs. Maneuvering over the trip computer's information or governing the Satan event infotainment technique is simple. Along with the high-quality screens, the two main device and involving the instruments creates pleasant viewing. All models come using a slick 8.0-inch touchscreen that's crisp and very an easy task to operate. Comfort levels are impressive. Suspension is healthy. Not too harsh, much less soft. Just one exam in a brochure points to seat Leon's experience comfort will probably score highly, with every example coming fitted with raised comfort suspension. Despite the taller springs and slight weight increase from your 4-drive all-wheel drive system, the Leon rides very comfortably indeed. To become fair, the taller profile tires for the 17 or 18-inch wheels might be contributing to this. Certainly it's more compliant as opposed to for specified Leon Street models which may feel overly stiff for the rear, and unless it's a hulking great speed hump or deep pothole, the Leon experience simply shrugs imperfections off without fuss. The sports-style seats, if they are covered in cloth, leather or Alcantara, offer a lot of support, adjustment along with the tire and comfort. The Alcantara-clad versions also watch their simulated suede on the door cards, so elbow leaners end up nestling up close to soft, warm and tactile material in lieu of cold hard plastic of other versions. Rear seat occupants benefit from an abundance of space too. And no matter where you sit there's little from the way or tire roar or wind noise either. At a constant cruise the Leon experience is hushed and refined. Choice of 2 Leon experience trim levels. Both are very equipped for your money. Optional extras is usually added. If you're expecting a large and varied array of trim levels and options while using seat Leon experience, then you're going to get sorely disappointed. You will discover just 2 trim levels to select between. Say Technology and Say Lux. Standard seat Leon experience equipment. Based about the Leon Street Estate, the experience sits 28 mm above that car, due to extended suspension springs and larger tires. Chunky plastic bumper and wheel arch extensions and aluminum look scuff plates at the front and back complement this jacked-up look. Say Technology models come generously equipped using the following: 18-inch alloy wheels, LED headlights, electric folding door mirrors, Alcantara upholstery, dual-zone climate control, cruise control, rear parking sensors, convenience pack, including automatic lights and wipers and auto-dimming rear-view mirror. 8.0-inch touchscreen infotainment system with sat-nav, Bluetooth, DAB radio, voice control as well as USB ports. Autonomous emergency braking. SAT technology cars come fitted with 9 airbags as standard, 4 drive all-wheel drive and XDS electronic differential lock. Move around say Lux, and you take advantage of. Seat drive profile, switchable drive modes to toggle between eco, normal, sport and individual settings for your engine, steering, climate control and gearbox only on DSG models. Chrome roof rails. Black leather upholstery. Electric driver's seat. Winter pack, heated front seats, headlight washers and heated washer nozzles. Optional seat Leon Experience extras. Accessories to the Leon Experience are rather limited, but there is often a selection of bundled option packs with key equipment included. There are 2 amounts of driver assistance packs, with driving assistance pack 1 coming with good beam assist and lane assist, while driving assistance pack 2 is included with traffic sign recognition on top on the first pack. There's also the advanced comfort in driving pack 1, including driving assistance pack 1 and adding traffic jam assist and emergency assist, as the advanced comfort and driving pack 2 includes the above mentioned, but replaces the driving assistance pack 1 with pack 2. Park assistance pack adds front and back parking sensors as well as a rear view camera, whilst the safety pack adds tiredness recognition as well as a seat belt reminder with the rear seats. Some individual solutions include keyless entry and ignition with wireless phone charging, in addition to adaptive cruise control, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto via seat's full link system, a panoramic sunroof, along with an upgraded head unit and navigation system. Leon safety levels Alwachi high. 5 stars from Euro NCAP for regular Leon. Extra safety features may be added. It's unlikely how the seat Leon Experience may have its safety levels verified, which has a specific Euro NCAP crash test, although the Leon hatchback was through its paces and awarded it an entire 5 stars back 2012. As such, the standard Leon Street Experience are expected to get just as safe. Regardless of how many % it scores for adult, child and pedestrian safety, the Leon is set with safety kits as standard. 9 airbags, including one for your driver's knees, are fitted as standard and ISOFIX mounting points are found about the outer rear seats. In regards to active safety, adaptive cruise control with brake function is obtainable as an option, out-of-the-box lane departure warning as well as a city brake function to discover slow-moving or stationary objects that might be involved in a collision without driver intervention. Tiredness recognition alerts the motorist if they are fatigued enough to require a quick break from driving to relax. Should the worst happen as well as an accident is unavoidable, the normal multi-collision brake system applies the anchors after a primary impact in an attempt to lessen the odds of a secondary incident with passing vehicles or scenery. There are lots of driver assistance systems bundled into option packs offered to add at extra expense, that could keep both you and your occupants as safe as you possibly can. Leon Experience boasts excellent practicality. Plenty of passenger room and spacious boot. Also lots of extra storage throughout. As it's based around the street estate, Leon Experience practicality is impressive, and Seat claims this car is targeted at lifestyle junkies just like likely for being running a triathlon as taken within the school run. Of course you're almost certainly going to see an Experience packed with Tesco carriers or IKEA flat packs as an alternative to snowboards or muddy mountain bikes. Regardless of things to transport, the headline figures still impress with 587 liters of boot space using the seats in position, and also a generous 1,470 liters while using rear seats folded flat. They actually do fold flat too, so longer or larger items sit securely. And this process cavernous and capacious state is a no-brainer, while using merest pull of the boot-mounted lever dropping the backrest to suit your needs. So you don't need to clamber within the cabin potentially with muddy boots, when the marketeers be believed metamorphosed into full-on load lugger. And needless to say, for those chasing a dynamic lifestyle, the Leon Experience is perfectly practical, The all-wheel drive system permitting them to traverse the odd field around the way for the mountain bike tracks or ford a river to get towards the sailing club. It goes without saying that you just add to this practicality with an array of seat accessories including a tow bar, car bike rack or roof bars, which has a variety of adapters specifically directed at securing specialist sports equipment.